Hey everybody, Rob here. It's time for a new ProRevenge story. 50 employees versus greedy business. Let's jump right in. Did you know 68% of people who watch my videos aren't even subscribed to the channel? Please hit that subscribe button and you'll get more daily Reddit stories. Back in July, I started my current position as a hotel concierge. My old director hired me on the spot the day of my interview. I was thrilled to be hired and we went over what pay would be, etc. I noticed pretty quickly that my compensation wasn't as much as he said it would be, but chalked it up to being thrown into work in the middle of a pay period. Till today, we had no idea what it actually was. This is important. Something you should know about my old director is that he constantly called out of work or left work as soon as I arrived. He was in at 7 a.m. and I was in at 9 a.m. Our shift ends at 5 or 7 p.m., depending on who was closing for the day. Being new, this threw me off, as I didn't know much about my position and was immediately alone. Not much after I started, my old director quit out of nowhere, leaving us in a very tight position, but we pushed through. We have a new director and she is a godsend. We do not deserve this woman at all. She is kind and helpful to all who encounter her. New director and I hit it off immediately because she utilized my abilities and pushed me to learn more and maximized my potential. Unfortunately, her enthusiasm was brushed off by the company we worked for, and she was consistently defeated as she tried to implement new systems. The ones we had at the time were from the late 90s. She asked me to help her with a website to streamline a new avenue of business for the company, and since she was and is amazing, I offered my assistance. Over the course of 3 months, I put in about 300 hours to this website, making sure everything was perfect because the owner said he would pay me for it. After I finished in January, my new director approached the owner to ask if he could meet to discuss everything. He went off. He yelled at her for trying to make changes to a system that worked for over a decade, and that you shouldn't worry your pretty little head about things that are above your pay grade. My manager called me furious and explained what he had said, and also that he wasn't going to pay me for the website. I was furious, but my director told me she knows something he didn't, and we talked for about 40 hours over the next few days to figure out what our next step was. She contacted all the other managers in the company, and I contacted all the employees, totaling to about 50 employees. We explained to them that we were going to be writing our letters of resignation and giving it to him first. They were confused, but they also knew none of us were being compensated correctly, so they all complied. Today, my director sent her resignation letter, which ended with her saying, "I don't want to talk about this. I'm just over how unapproachable you are." Accompanied with that email was an email chain of 50 employees' resignation letters. This is the entire staff. He runs 3 businesses out of 1 location, and in total, between the 3 companies, there are 50 of us. She sends it and shuts her work phone off. She calls me and tells me to tell everyone that we can all shut down shop for the rest of the day because all the letters have gone in. 50 of us clock out and head towards the parking structure. We all stand around for a bit and are just talking about the massive power move she just played. All of our phones start to ring simultaneously. As none of us answered, they just moved on to the next person to call. Our fearless leader finally arrives on property and turns her phone on, and who calls? The owner. He is livid, confused, mortified at what just happened. The resignation letter basically was one uniform letter with the names changed at the bottom. Our director answers with her sweetest customer service voice. "Hello? Oh, hi, owner. Yeah, we're all still on property, but we're off for the day." She places him on speakerphone, and he rambles on for about 10 minutes about how we're ruining his life, and how this will bankrupt the company, and that none of us know how hard it is to run a business, etc. She tells him kindly, Well, we all individually tried to talk to you, but you ignored us. Do we have your attention now? Utter silence is on the other end of the phone. All 50 of us are standing here, quietly waiting for some sort of response. After about a minute, he just says, yes. What I didn't previously mention is that I took criminal defense classes in college, so I know how to write a legally binding contract. Our fearless God-sent woman starts listing off the list of 35 demands that we collectively agreed we needed. After about 25 or so minutes, he chimes in and says, "You are all f***ing crazy if you think I'm agreeing to any of this." She smiles and looks at all of us and says directly into the phone, "Then have fun closing 3 segments of your company." Click. About 5 minutes go by and we're all just standing around talking about how she tried her best and that we were all looking for other jobs anyway. Then all of a sudden, she gets another call from the owner. Yet again, speakerphone. Hello? He tries to speak, and when he finally is able to, he says, "I can only do this one thing." She replies, "Oh, well, we can only do this one thing." Click. We are all in a state of shock. We decide that we are going to go for a quick lunch and use the company card since it was in her name. We don't go all out on what we order and instead have it family styled, which means we all get a piece of it. Maybe 35 minutes goes by, and I guess the owner knew where we all were since the company card was swiped. Whoops! He comes in with hell on his heels and is furious. Since he was there, the director looked at me and was like, "Lawyer lady, you're up." So I take my paperwork with me and I give him a copy. I have 50 plus copies of this printed so we can all read it. We knew eventually he'd show up. Laugh out loud. And I explained to him how these are our demands and he can either comply and sign or we all quit. Right here and right now. He goes over this and after about 25 agonizing minutes, he asked, "Do you have a pen?" I give him the one I keep on my shirt. We were literally stunned at what he agreed to. Basically, we got a $20 a day raise, which puts us at minimum wage, nothing crazy, gives us overtime pay, a 401k plan that he just revoked, 2 weeks paid vacation, 1 week of sick leave, regular bonuses if we meet a certain quota, and my 300 plus hours of wages from the website. What he also didn't know is that one of his part-time workers also works for a bank and is a notary, so he signed. The director signed, and she notarized every single one of our documents as he signed every one of our papers. He didn't realize that all of his employees were unhappy until we personally began to forward everything to him, resulting in over 200 emails. He looked at all of us and said, "Okay, now that this is over, can you all go back to your shifts?" We all agreed because we basically got this man to pay out about $15,000 in a matter of 30 minutes between all of us and the pay we were all owed. Also, as an added clause to this agreement, I put in there that none of us were able to be fired for this incident as that would be discriminatory towards us if he picked us out one by one at 3 different businesses because of this. Yes, this was a major power play, but hey, all you owners or managers out there, don't set up your own demise by pissing off your entire staff because they may just make friends with enemies to take you down. If you made it this far, I hope you enjoyed. This is stated in the comments and I agree with it 100%. It says, "This is proof that the employees, when united, are the real bosses of a company. An owner is nothing without their employees, and too many companies abuse their power." Another thing mentioned in the comments is this: couple nits. Using a company credit card after you quit the company is fraud. I'm also fairly certain that a notary public cannot notarize anything to which they have an interest in. That throws a little bit of a loop into the story, so I'd like to see your comments below on whether you think that this story is completely true, or if it's just something that happened to OP and this is the way they wish it came out. I want to thank OP, however, for posting their story to the ProRevenge subreddit. You can visit them at the links in the description below. Please go there and give them an upvote. Once again, this is Rob from Karma Comment Chameleon saying thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit that subscribe button, drop a like, and share it with your friends, and we'll see you in the next one.